Good afternoon, everyone. It's a nice afternoon, and it's going to be a nice evening in the Ozarks. Most of the weekend will be rather pleasurable as well, but as you have no doubt heard, we are getting some jet stream changes and increase in unstable air that will lead to shower, thunderstorm, and severe weather possibilities around here. I'll be detailing that. That's part of why I'm recording this little edition here today to let you know what's going on. First of all, though, let me emphasize that it's going to be a nice night. We have shaken off this upper level low that brought some clouds and showers to the area. Looking out my window, been watching the sun increase slowly throughout the day. Temperatures a little slow to respond, but they're in the 70s. You probably have already noticed the humidity has been running higher than it has all spring, and that's only going to get a little bit higher, I think, as time passes. Let's zoom in here a little bit so you can see where Springfield is. Right there, there we go. So that right there, off around south of Nashville into northern Alabama, had some tornado warning is connected with it. That's still the circulation that was around for the storms down in Texas a couple of nights ago. That's out. This is not cloudiness necessarily. This is a water vapor loop. This is indicating a mid-level area of moisture. But I do want to start showing you now that we're interacting with increasing humidity, best we've seen all season, and an increasingly strong jet stream. And we're already starting to see weather up here. In fact, there's a tornado warning in Wyoming, of all places, and a watch for weather down there between Dallas and Abilene, Texas. The jet stream is changing. This is the upper level storm right here, phase one. So the winds are getting stronger right here. You can see that in the flow. Watch when I put this back into motion. See those blue streaks? That's the upper level wind starting to increase. It's helping to fire those storms south of Rapid City. And it will be a big player in tomorrow's severe weather outbreak, one of several days of severe weather I'm anticipating across the central U.S. One thing that's been missing this season for widespread severe weather is the moisture, and that has been taken care of. Dew point's one way to measure that, and dew points have been running now in the 70s through Oklahoma down into Texas. This is juicy air. In mid to late spring, this kind of air is allowed to develop. Oftentimes in the early spring, it doesn't develop properly because there are too many cold fronts that enter the Gulf of Mexico. That's the moisture source, and just kind of destroy that process of air mass building. This has been building for about a week now, and it's the juiciest stuff of the season. That is a big factor. But look at the difference. Look at the dew points in parts of New Mexico. 5 single digits. So these two are ramming into each other. That's the dry line that really puts the central United States on the tornado map. It pushes us over the edge when it comes to tornado frequency in the world. That dry line is a big feature. So that is going to be meandering around the plains over the next couple of days. The increase in moisture just leads to more energy, maybe leads to lower storm bases, maybe better tornado development. So all that's put in place now. Moisture alone is not enough. You also do need to take a look at whether you have a jet stream flow. Let me look at that next here. Let me go and switch to the jet stream flow as predicted by one computer model, the GFS. Here we're looking at the College of DuPage Next Generation Weather Lab maps. These are fantastic, by the way. So if you watch here, these are isotachs, equal wind speeds. So the maximum area is here on Saturday. This is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You can start to see the winds over parts of the Panhandle increase, over parts of Nebraska, Kansas. That gets a little bit better by 4 o'clock, and by 7 o'clock, thunderstorms are already in progress and probably severe in Nebraska and northwest Kansas, and a little more problematic down to Oklahoma. Then these winds stick around and kind of morph so that when you go into Sunday now, they get faster. That's 1 p.m., that's 4 p.m. That's a tornado outbreak, actually, when you come right down to it, over eastern Kansas down to into Oklahoma and also up into Iowa. And we'll be on the edge of that by the evening. And so whatever develops will kind of slide in. And then look at this on Monday. We're not done yet. Here's Monday at 1 o'clock. Those jet stream winds are still strong. The air is still unstable underneath that. In fact, that day, Monday, could be the worst day of all. And there's still jet stream energy back in New Mexico, if you saw that. So this is basically midnight, Monday night into Tuesday. So this energy is still left over for probably a Tuesday outbreak somewhere in Oklahoma, through Missouri and Arkansas, up into Indiana and Illinois. Let me show you one more thing here while we got this map up. This is just really just a what's called a supercell composite. It gives you a rough idea of where supercell thunderstorms will develop. So this is 1 p.m. Saturday. There's 4 p.m. Saturday. You can see definitely where those storms are going to be in the red areas there, especially up in parts of southwest Nebraska and western Kansas. That's 7 p.m. Saturday night. Then we go to Sunday. That's 1 p.m. up in Iowa and northern Missouri. That's the first salvo, but development in Oklahoma and southeast Kansas is definitely on the table. and that gets even worse by about 7 p.m. tomorrow night, with that epicenter up in northern Missouri and another one down in Oklahoma. And again, repeating this on Monday, that is 1 p.m. Monday. Illinois down to Missouri, a secondary area down in Oklahoma. Look at that explode by 4 o'clock on Monday. And the Ozarks doesn't look like they're in that, but remember, this is a computer model. I would put anything along the cold front in the zone for potential severe weather for this time period. So it's actually pretty amazing. The Storm Prediction Center, of course, has outlined all this. I'll show it to you here. This is tomorrow's outlook here with a moderate risk through parts of northwest Kansas and southwest Oklahoma. And then this shifts so that on Sunday, the Ozarks, Springfield right here, is on the edge. And by nighttime, overnight, we'll get the leftovers from that. The worst of it, I think, will be here. But a good half of the Ozarks will probably see some form of severe weather, maybe a squall line by then. And then, again, if you continue to look further into the future, this is Monday's forecast. And again, anything along this corridor, I think they'll probably elongate that here or divide it into two as we start getting closer to that period. So an amazing stretch of weather. I do run a storm chase tour, and I just have to emphasize again, if you're thinking about doing this, check my blog. Lots of different options, but boy, it is looking like you're going to be guaranteed severe weather every day if you decide to make the investment in this. I think it'll be worth your while. Let me show you one more thing here. The 7-day forecast here has us in the 80s this weekend and Monday. No real cold Canadian air coming into our future at all.